overplacing right now. But the question is that where they will remain as we get into this final event?
Here is how close it is on top of the overall standings with one event to go. Justin Medeiros has a 5-point lead over Patrick Vellner. Chandler Smith sits in third. He is 20 points back of Vellner for second, and Jeffrey Adler is still very much alive for a spot on the podium. The event, it's grace, but since it's these athletes, it's heavy grace, presented by Beyond the Whiteboard.
30 clean and jerks, more commonly seen at 135 and 95 pounds. It is now escalated to 225 pounds for the men and 165 pounds for the women. What a way to finish here for event 10.
Keys to an event that everyone knows very well when it's done at 135 and 95.
Everybody knows that in grace, you just kind of come out and you go for broke, right? Grip it and rip it. How long can you hang on? Well, there's going to have to be a tremendously different approach and strategy here. Point one is create a rhythm. These athletes have to get in sync with their clean first. Don't overlook that element of the lift. It sets you up for a successful jerk, and then builds momentum as you go. Sean, a lot of the separation in this workout is going to happen after rep 16 and beyond.
Let's go down to Kiki Dixon.
Guys, you may notice that that final barbell looks a little different. That's the money bar. They figured final bar, money bar, might serve as a little motivation for these fellas.
It's not bad to be reminded what you're competing for when you get to that final barbell. Your lane assignments on the left side. There is Ricky Garrard, who comes in a little bit surprising. 11th place overall. Had a really tough stretch of events where he took an 18th, a 10th, an 11th, and an 18th. Bounced back today to begin last night with a 3rd, and then took 17th earlier today.
And as we're gonna get into a point in this event as we look at Nick Matthew there, who a man with a 545-pound listed back squat, someone who absolutely crushed back attack earlier with these heavier loads. This is someone that we can make the assumption with quality movement could have a strong finish here in heavy grace.
10 reps at each barbell, and the athletes will move forward after the completion of those reps. And they will end on that money bar. And Tim Paulson, who is towards the front, along with Lazar Jukic and Saxon Panchik. Paulson and Matthew advancing to the second barbell.
One of the hidden elements of when you do an event with high levels of barbell cycling is even managing the downward fall or downward motion of the load. You have to, quote unquote, babysit the bar to a degree, which means guide it or follow it down so that it doesn't get out of control, get into your opponent's lane, and perhaps cause you a no rep or the need to reset your barbell.
Paulson and Matthew are about halfway through. Jack Farlow, who is closest to the camera right side of the screen, he's on the lead pace as well. All the athletes now separated by just about 4 reps. As Paulson and Matthew now are in the back half of this event.
And Sean, as we approach the 2-minute mark, I can't help but take everybody back on a little history lesson of an athlete they might be familiar with in the name of Rich Froning Jr., who we've seen do this exact workout, heavy grace, in 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
That was back in 2014. And of course, that's when we saw double grace to close out the 2014 CrossFit Games, as Nick Matthew now moves to the final barbell. Here comes Jack Farlow, and now Tim Paulson as well.
Matthew seems to have established a really steady rhythm. Same with Farlow. We see him get set for his next rep. He's executing a quick jerk out of these cleans where the athletes aren't pausing and redipping. They're jumping that thing directly off that clavicle into the next rep. It removes or minimizes time under tension.
Jack Farlow now with 5 reps to go. Nick Matthew with 6. Tim Paulson has fallen off the lead pace by about a rep. Jack Farlow, the youngest man in the field at 20 years old, showing off some power.
It's right there. Stay at the bar, Jack. Hands to the bar. This is where mantras matter. Your self-talk, your self-language is important. You can will your way to picking up that bar for the next rep.
1 rep remains for Jack Farlow. Nick Matthew has 2 to go. What a great way to finish for Jack Farlow, who is going to get across the finish line. Nick Matthew just completed his 29th rep. He has 1 to go, and Matthew is done.
Wow.
Tim Paulson almost squatting that rep. He's got 2 left. Ricky Garrard has 2 left.
And athletes are fighting with every ounce of energy they have left. This being event 10 of a long 4 days. It's been an incredible test, and we're starting to see some residual fatigue.
There goes Ricky Garrard. Right behind him is Tim Paulson. Lazar Jukic had to quicken his pace at the end as Jorge Fernandez was bearing down on him. Saxon Panchik with a no rep. There is Cole Sager, who has a couple reps left. Heinrich Happelainen coming across the finish line. 3 men left, Panchik, Sager, and Scott Tetlow. Now Sager is in.
Great finish.
Sager is one of the men here who actually faced Double Grace back in the games in 2014. Noah Olson is the other. Final rep for Saxon Panchik. And the entire heat gets inside the 6-minute time cap. But it's Jack Farlow, the 20-year-old, who sets the time to beat at 3:51.60 seconds. The only man to go sub-4 in that heat. And certainly not the last we're going to see of this young man competing on this stage.
Absolutely not, Sean. And you mentioned him before we got on. You were like, hey, is Jack Farlow one of those guys? And I said, I don't know. We got to see how his ability is to pace a workout like this, because it's fast, but not quite a sprint. And right there, he really showed that he's learned quite a bit through his experience so far. And even through the course of these 4 days, he's now beginning to quickly put some things together.
Jack Farlow came in 19th place overall, but this was more about experience for him than it was about having a legitimate chance of maybe winding up on the podium or inside the top 10 system. Great knowledge and wisdom gained by Jack Farlow competing here at the Rogue Invitational. 3:51.60 seconds. Sub-4 for the young man. Nick Matthew will finish in second, followed by Ricky Garrard and then Tim Paulson. And you wondered, strategy-wise, how would Farlow look when he got into the latter part of this event? I'd say he did pretty well.
He did a great job here as we get a glimpse at his final few reps, holding it together with his technique, finding room to breathe with the bar in the front rack position, which is difficult when it weighs 225 and it's bearing down on your soul. And here, his final rep, he didn't hesitate, dip drive, great jerk to finish. Way to finish on the money bar.
Jack Farlow, your Heat 1 winner. As we get ready for the second and final heat, the final heat for the men's competition here at the 2022 Rogue Invitational Heavy Grace presented by Beyond the Whiteboard.
And it is all on the line for these 30 clean and jerks that these athletes are going to face at 225 pounds. It'd be a different story if this was event 1 throughout the course of a 4-day test, Sean, but it is event 10. They have been through so much so far, and this is why this pure test of strength and stamina is so appropriate for us to hit a home run here at Dell Diamond to finish this thing.
Here are your overall standings coming into the event. Have not factored in any scores or times from that prior heat. Justin Medeiros clinging to a 5-point lead over Patrick Vellner Chandler Smith currently sits in third place. He's going to have some work to do to hold off Jeffrey Adler, who loves getting his hands on a heavy barbell. Justin Medeiros trying to become the first man to ever repeat as Rogue Invitational champion. Patrick Vellner trying to wind up on the podium here at this competition for the 4th straight time.
Consistency by Mr. Pat Vellner, and he is a competitor of all competitors. He shows up. We've seen him have high finishes. We've seen him have low finishes throughout the course of his career, but he's always someone that we're talking about, and it's due to his consistency and performance over the course of 4 to 5 days.
See Medeiros in the back, right behind Vellner, Chandler Smith there as well, along with Jeffrey Adler. Roman Krennikov, who has had the lead on a couple different occasions in this competition, but ran into some problems in the last 2 events, a 12th in event 8 and then a 17th in event 9, and that's really what took him out of contention for the championship.
Yeah, and this is unique as we just kind of panned in on those guys' final moments before they take the field for this final event with so much on the line for each of them, whether it just comes down to, hey, the finances that you get as a spur along moment, you know, when you get your placing, or if it's really just to contend because you are at heart a competitor above all things. They're feeling the pressure.
And 10 years ago, you were in a similar situation, winner-take-all event at the CrossFit Games. I know there's always anticipation before you go out on the field, but what's it like when that is on the line?
When you are in this moment in itself, before you take the field, guess what? You're feeling a little tired, you're feeling a little fatigued, you're feeling worn down, and then all of a sudden, in this moment right here, as they begin to announce you and you take your place, your body hits a new state. You almost go numb, and your focus hones in on you and the barbell. And what will it take to maximize your output here? Because you came to win, and now is your opportunity, not to just prove that to everyone here that's watching worldwide, but also to yourself.
There are your top 2 men, Pat Vellner, who's coming off an event win in the goblet, his first of this competition. And Justin Medeiros, who made a couple uncharacteristic mistakes back in event 5, and then in event 7, the Texas Oak was unable to get his lift inside the cap. He took 16th in that event. That is very uncharacteristic for him, as he is usually always inside the top 10 in these events, and that's what has opened the door for this now winner-take-all finish between him and Vellner.
Yeah, and as these guys get ready to take on this event, I can't help but think in the back, I mentioned there's some fatigue. They've done a lot of work. Again, hats off to these athletes. Hats off to the programmers and Josh Bridges and Chris Spieler. And the show that this Rogue Invitational has been up to now, that barbell felt pretty darn heavy to them in the back during the warm-up, guaranteed. But now when the sun's shining and the crowd gets loud and they hear that beep that initiates this event, it's going to feel very different here on these first 10 clean and jerks.
Chandler Smith, 3rd place overall, just 20 points back of Vellner for 2nd, 25 back of Medeiros for 1st. So he is very much alive here as far as the top spot on the podium is concerned.
And I like Chandler. I like Chandler in this event. Power-based. He can move a barbell. We know that. Think about the similarities that this shows even to the log max-out event that we watched last night.
Assignments on the left side of your screen. Vellner, Medeiros, and Smith will all be right next to each other. And also keep an eye on Jeffrey Adler. He's in the red tank top on the right side of your screen. Who wants to be the Rogue Invitational champion? We're going to find out here in event 10. Heavy Grace presented by Beyond the Whiteboard.
Composure here early is important. Again, focusing on the clean, creating a rhythm for the jerk. That's what makes it feel more weightless as you go overhead. Catch the bar high into your throat, finish the pull, don't get lazy.
Jack Farlow has the time to beat the upper right-hand part of your screen, 351.60 seconds. Adler, Vellner, Medeiros, Smith, Krennikov. All out front. There's only a couple reps separate the entire field here. And Adler is through his first set of 10. He will move up. Here comes Roman Krennikov.
Yep.
Vellner and Medeiros done at the same time. along with Chandler Smith. So the top 3 men just hanging right next to each other here. Roman Krennikov threw now 13 of those 30 reps. Adler continues to lead though.
I love the sureness of Justin's overhead position. As fatigue starts to build, the clean becomes not the limiter, but sometimes where your lockout is and where you receive the barbell. And Justin, due to his finish, really secures that barbell up and back.
See Jeff Adler on the left side of your screen in the tank top. He is your leader. Remember, 4th place overall, 615 points, only 15 back of Smith for a spot on the podium. Right now, Pat Vellner has a couple rep lead on Justin Medeiros, as Vellner is past the halfway point, as is Medeiros. And now Jeffrey Adler continues to move forward on to the 3rd and final barbell.
Adler moving smoothly. Right back to the bar. Cadence picks up just a touch.
And now Vellner on to the final barbell. He's ahead of Medeiros. And he has men between the two of them as Chandler Smith has now moved ahead of Medeiros. Here comes Justin. He's got to make up some ground here on this final barbell. Vellner has 8 to go. And here comes Justin Medeiros. We'll see if Medeiros picks up his pace here. Vellner through 24. Adler is staring at an event win. He has 3 to go. Chandler Smith is through 23 of the 30. Vellner with 5 left. And he misses a rep.
And that's that overhead position, Sean, where Justin locks it out and gets it there. Pat struggles with the bar out in front of him. He's got to finish his drive through his hips to get the bar up and back.
Adler's going to win the event. He is in, and he is very much alive for a spot on the podium. And Pat Vellner and Medeiros are now tied. Medeiros ahead of Vellner. Here comes Krennikov.
Smith with 1 rep to go.
Chandler Smith, he hits this. He's getting it across the finish line. And there it is as Chandler Smith comes in. And Vellner has 3 to go, and he is missing reps. Justin Medeiros on his final rep, and Justin Medeiros may have done it.
Wow, what a finish by Justin Medeiros there on that last money bar.
Hopper and Gumanson are in, and Pat Vellner was a handful of reps away from the Rogue Invitational Championship and failed, and Justin Medeiros was able to storm ahead of him. And now Vellner is across, and you can tell he is upset. Noah Olson is in.
Yona still out there grinding away. Last rep for him.
And with that, the men's competition has come to a close, and Justin Medeiros snatching victory from the jaws of defeat and snatching the title away from Patrick Vellner and looking to become the first man to repeat as champion. Vellner was so close.
So close. And he went for it. You know, this is a very hard place for an athlete to be in, but there's a point in a workout where you have to choose to lean in and go for it, and he chose to. And of course, he toed the line and ended up on the side that he was not hoping to end up on.
Here are your unofficial event results. Jeffrey Adler gets his first career Rogue Invitational win. He had to make up 15 points on Chandler Smith. Unofficially, he's only going to make up 10. Krennikov takes 2nd. Smith takes 3rd, looks to keep himself on the podium. But Adler may have erased the deficit he had to Patrick Vellner, because Vellner takes 10th in the event, so still a lot needs to be figured out here. Vellner may have gone from contending for the title to off the podium.
Yeah, and that's really one of the hardest parts when you're towing the line with your threshold. You meet that point of failure and meltdown, and that's what it turns into. There's really no recovering until you wait. In an event this this short, you have to wait too long. Other people are going to open that door of opportunity and kick it down, take those points away.
Justin Medeiros looking like he will be the first man to repeat as Rogue Invitational champion, and Jeffrey Adler, with that event win, may have put himself on the podium. Chandler Smith looking to take second.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, this right here, this situation that we're in, this is why Justin Medeiros is hard to beat. It's rare that we saw him this weekend falter a few times. He had some setbacks, no doubt. But in these moments when the pressure is the highest, he makes it really difficult to beat him because he just doesn't beat himself.
You have to give Pat Vellner credit for trying and pushing the pace, but just a handful of reps away from completing the event, and then he fails, and that's what allows Justin Medeiros to beat him at the end.
And efficiency playing a key role in that. We go back and rewind and watch this rep for rep, which I would encourage young people that want to compete in this sport and perform at a high level, or people pursuing the highest level of their own personal fitness. Watch how proficiency sets you apart as fatigue starts to build. That young man right there is proficient with his overhead position. It's set apart. It's about doing the common uncommonly well. And Justin does that with certain aspects of his fitness, and that's truly what sets him apart through the course of a grueling workout or a grueling weekend.
He certainly made it interesting. We had 6 lead changes throughout the course of this event, this competition. And Justin Medeiros looking like he's going to pull this off.
Taking photos, but let me introduce to you the 2022 Rogue Invitational Men's Champion,
And Justin Medeiros has done it. First man to repeat as Rogue Invitational champion.
Was he pointing up to you and I right there, Sean? I thought he might have been.
Getting congratulated by Chandler Smith. And man, it looked like that was slipping from his grasp there as Pat Vellner had a solid first 2 rounds and then got to that final barbell.
Can you imagine his parents? His mom, hey, you were really stressing me out there. I was yelling, why weren't you speeding up? He's going to say, Mom, I got this. Don't you worry.
Oh, man.
Don't you worry.
An exciting finish to the men's competition in what has been a back and forth event for the past 4 days. It's Justin Medeiros, your 2-time Rogue Invitational champion, and he is with Kiki Dixon.
Congratulations on becoming the 2-time Rogue Invitational champ. One of the very first things you did, even though you were tired and you're a little bit beat up, is run to the fans. Why?
Man, dude, these people are why we do it. I mean, I grew up in a box. Yeah, woo! Yeah, man, I mean, I was in the fans. I volunteered at the CrossFit Games in 2015, so I've been there, you know? So, man, it feels so good to compete and share it all with these guys.
It looked like a fight this weekend. You had some ups, you had some downs. So what does it mean to you to stand on top at the end today?
Yeah, no, definitely had to battle some things this weekend, but they're going to make me a better athlete in the future. So it was awesome to kind of have those mistakes, but also be able to overcome those and still compete at my best.
Now, when you're having those moments, who do you look to for support? You're such a motivation and inspiration to so many people, but you've got to have some people in your corner that you're going to during that time.
Yeah, man, there's definitely not one person. I mean, I think you guys heard all these guys up here all weekend. But, yeah, there's some of my coaches, Ellie, everybody. It's just it's so awesome to feel the love all weekend. And all these guys, I mean, coming off of a bad event and being able to walk up, everyone's still happy to see me, giving high fives, telling me good job. And then it's hard to pout when you have everyone so happy and cheering me up.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Justin Medeiros, your 2022 Rogue Invitational champion. First man to win back-to-back titles in the men's division in the 4-year history of this competition. 735 points. Chandler Smith gets into second. And Jeffrey Adler leapfrogs fellow Canadian Patrick Vellner for that final spot on the podium. It breaks Vellner's string of finish on the podium every single year here at the Rogue Invitational. Roman Krenikov moves into the top 5, stays there from his last event, and it's Bjorgvin Gudmundsson,
BKG.
followed by Hopper, Quant Olsen, and then Ricky Garrard manages to finish inside the top 10. It was certainly a blast to watch over these last 4 days, and we're not even done yet. The women's podium will be decided next as we continue our coverage of the 2022 Rogue Invitational. The men have been through heavy grace, presented by Beyond the Whiteboard. Now it is time for the women. Thanks for being with us, everybody, on Sunday here at the 2022 Rogue Invitational at the Dell Diamond Stadium in Round Rock, Texas. I'm Sean Woodland with Adrian Conway. Kiki Dixon is down on the competition floor. It's a workout we all know and love, but much more difficult for this crew.
Much more difficult, not to begin with the fact that it is event 10 of 10 throughout the course of the last 4 days, but this is heavy grace. It's 30 clean and jerks at 165 pounds for these women, and that just ups the ante just a touch.
Your keys to this event.
Well, the keys are for the athletes to create a rhythm right out of the gate, build into the intensity as you go, allow a clean, power clean to set up a successful jerk, and build momentum and speed throughout the race. Really starts when there's 14 clean and jerks remaining.
Ariel Lowen and Danny Spiegel, who is definitely one to watch in this event. First of 2 heats in the final event for the women here at the 2022 Rogue Invitational.
You really have to like Danny Spiegel's potential here. Cycling a load at 165 pounds from the ground all the way to overhead because of her success at the Texas Oak last night, all the way up to 215 with reserves left. She hit that big lift just to put on a show for all of us here, and it looked like she had some pounds left on the table there and could have continued to go.
Spiegel's already through 6 of her opening 10 reps.
Steady work of these. The ladies really minding their initial pace, of course, making sure, and I'm sure they got to watch some of the men take the floor before, but understand that if you start too fast, you dig yourself in a dangerous deficit that falls completely apart on that money bar.
Spiegel, the first woman to the second bar, along with Olivia Kerstetter, a 16-year-old. Now Ariel Lowen is there as well. And here comes Matilda Garnes in the yellow top along with Emma McQuaid. Danny Spiegel has an event win already in this competition. She finished first in the Texas Oak to close out Saturday night.
I'll say as we watch this, there's a common trap when you're in a single modality barbell event where when you drop that bar, it's really easy to want to take a couple steps backward. The further you go back, the more justification you can give yourself to rest and hang out, and that's certainly not going to help your time in the finish. So you've got to have some really great self-confidence, assuring words or mantras to get yourself at the bar, back to the bar, hands on the bar, to get that thing moving.
Right now, Olivia Kerstetter in the bottom right-hand part of your screen is keeping right with Danny Spiegel. Two of them getting set to move on to the third and final barbell. And they are done at the same time.
Olivia Kerstetter being a prime example of a next-gen CrossFitter coming into our sport, had the opportunity to compete as an individual at the semifinal level this year, turned it down, said I'm going to go one more time as a teen, and now she's here with the fittest women in the entire world at the Rogue Invitational, putting on a show with 165 pounds on the barbell.
Kerstetter and Spiegel back and forth here for the lead. Now Ariel Lowen is onto the final barbell. Five remaining for Kerstetter as she has pulled ahead by 1 rep of Danny Spiegel.
Kerstetter's coach fired up as he watches her cycle these clean and jerks. He's got to really love, Jacob Hebner has to absolutely love watching a young, strong athlete that has a very different natural skill set than him as an athlete out there on the floor. I'm sure he feels like a coach in the candy store, if you will, with the pool of talent she has.
Kerstetter now on her final rep. And Olivia Kerstetter is looking at a heat win as Danny Spiegel has now just cleaned the bar. So Olivia Kerstetter in her individual debut will take the opening heat of heavy grace. Now Danny Spiegel is in. 3:48.11 seconds for Olivia Kerstetter.
Phenomenal.
Anytime you beat Danny Spiegel in a heavy barbell event, you're doing something right.
You are absolutely doing something right. Strength, stamina, and mental fortitude.
Emma McQuaid is your leader on the field. Now she is done. Tilda Garnes on her final rep. Garnes is in. Annika Greer, Bailey Rogers, and Carolyn Prevost are on the last barbell. Andrea Solberg is on her second barbell. And Jacqueline Dahlstrom knocked out 3 reps and has just stopped working.
Yeah, and this is a tough place to be in sometimes as a competitor, Sean. You're not competing for the podium at this point. And I've been here as an athlete too, where you are being put through a grueling series of events and your body's had it. You're at the end of your means when it comes to energy and stamina, and you're just fighting for every rep simply because you are a competitor and you still want to finish as best as you can.
Annika Greer is across. Final couple seconds here. Bailey Rogers is going to get in. And Carolyn Prevost has another rep to go, but she's going to come up short. But it's Olivia Kerstetter saving her best performance for last. She wins the heat. 3 minutes, 48.11 seconds. Danny Spiegel got out early, but Olivia Kerstetter reeled her in and stayed even with her for most of this event.
She really did, and of course Danny Spiegel would be our natural favorite in an event like this with her success with heavy loads. And she started crisp, she started clean, she was conserving energy, but it was Olivia Kerstetter, CrossFit's next generation, coming up through as a 16-year-old, winning an event with a heavy barbell, showing tremendous mental fortitude and a ridiculous amount of strength and stamina.
Olivia Kerstetter with her first career heat win. And there are definitely big things to come for that young woman. And there is Jacob Hebner, who coaches Olivia Kerstetter.
Jacob Hebner, in his time in our sport, known for having one of the best motors out there. Tremendous aerobic capacity, really high level for pain tolerance. When we look at Olivia Kerstetter, his athlete, they've got a very opposing natural skill set. I believe that they're going to make a very powerful team as coach and athlete in the future.
Results from heat number 1. Olivia Kerstetter, sub 4 minutes, 3:48.11 seconds. Danny Spiegel will take second. It's Ariel Lowen by 0.2 of a second less than that over Emma McQuaid and Matilda Garnes, rounding out the top 5. Youth represented well there in that heat as Annika Greer takes 6th. Now we get set for the second and final heat of Heavy Grace, Event 10, presented by Beyond the Whiteboard.
A lot of times athletes are going to hear about Grace. It's a benchmark workout. 135 pounds and 95 pounds is the common loading that we'll see, 30 reps for time. But today at the Rogue Invitational for these elites, fittest women in the world, it is 165 pounds.
Laura Horvath comes in as your overall leader, 670 total points. She has a 35-point cushion on Annie Thorisdottir. So for Horvath, just stay close to Annie. She has a 40-point lead on Emma Lawson. In order for that to get a race in one event, Emma Lawson would have to win the event, and Laura would have to finish 10th or worse. Annie Thorisdottir would need to win the event and have Laura finish 9th or worse in order to overtake her for the top spot on the podium. We are underway. 3:48.11 seconds is the time to beat.
John, we've got some amazing athletes on the field for particular tests like this. We've got Cara Saunders. We have got Gabby Magala, we have got Ellie Turner, all of these athletes with a tremendous amount of capacity and the potential to do well, all chasing after Laura Horvath in the points total.
Ellie Turner, 4th place overall with 585 points. Ten reps on this opening barbell, 10 reps on the next one, and then 10 reps on the third and final.
Some of the focus here being as an athlete. Set up, create a rhythm on your clean. Allow your power clean to be caught high in your throat or on your clavicle to set up an effortless jerk overhead. The more energy you can conserve for these 30 reps, the better.
Cara Saunders was the first to move to the second barbell, followed by Turner, Thorisdottir, and Horvath. Here comes Amanda Barnhart. Manon Anganese. Alexis Raptis just failed a rep there in lane 3. Every woman has moved on to their second set of 10.
Yeah, and we see Annie even stutter step a little bit on that jerk. These athletes want to build momentum, not lose it. They want to conserve just a touch out the gate, which is hard to do when it's down to points and you're on the final event, but it's necessary.
Cara Saunders, bottom right-hand part of your screen. She is your leader. She has about a rep lead on Laura Horvath. And as long as Laura Horvath just stays with Annie Thorisdottir and Emma Lawson, she is going to be your 2022 Rogue Invitational champion. Horvath survived a second to last place finish in event 8. And the reason she was able to do that, she racked up 4 straight event wins in events 3 through 6 and then finished second in event 7, build a big enough cushion for herself for those deficit handstand push-ups, and now she is right behind Cara Saunders for the lead in this heat and ahead of both Lawson and Thorisdottir.
Joined by Ellie Turner there to her left.
Ellie Turner's got to make up 45 points on Emma Lawson to get into the top 3. Saunders and Horvath in the lead now, just 6 reps away from finishing.
Great execution here, as we haven't really seen her pace change at all. Technically looking the same as when she started, rep for rep.
Emma Lawson is behind Laura Horvath and now moving to the final barbell. Ellie Turner is way ahead of her right now, so Turner is doing what she needs to do in order to give herself a chance to finish on the podium. 2 reps remain for Laura Horvath. Cara Saunders is in. She's going to win the event. Laura Horvath is in with 1 rep to go. And that is going to do it. And Laura Horvath is your 2022 Rogue Invitational champion.
What a week for Laura.
Annie Thorisdottir trying to keep herself on the podium, as now Ellie Turner is across.
How much? Who can separate her and Emma?
Unofficially, that should be 4th in the event as Barnhart is in. Now here comes Thorisdottir. So Emma Lawson has 5 reps to go as Gabby McGowa comes in. Now we have times from the prior heat starting to play in here, so Emma Lawson's got to hurry up if she wants to stay on the podium.
Yeah, it's natural to want to look left to right. Of course, she's aware of the situation she could find herself in now, but it's get back to that bar, Emma.
Anganese is in. And this is looking really good for Ellie Turner right now. Lawson is done, and she is across. There is Danielle Brandon. She and Alexis Raptis still on the field. Brandon is through. Raptis is done. And with that, the 2022 Rogue Invitational comes to a close. And it looks like it's going to be Laura Horvath who stands atop the podium here in Round Rock, Texas. Just needed to stay close to Lawson and Thorisdottir. Wound up beating them both.
That's right. Just like a professional. She knew exactly what situation she needed to find herself in. Cara Saunders came out fast and continued her onslaught of the rest of the field here through these 30 clean and jerks. She is strong, she is powerful, she is an OG in herself, and she knows how to execute, especially in the latter part of a few tough days of competition. But it's Laura Horvath who was able to exactly end up where she needed to end up, stay ahead of Thorisdottir, and of course, the crowd loved to see Cara Saunders end her weekend with a W. But she is going to be crowned the queen of the Rogue Invitational.
Laura Horvath is going to take 3rd in this event. Cara Saunders will win. It's her first event win of this competition. And how about Olivia Kerstetter, the youngest competitor in the field, saving her best for last? She will take 2nd place. Now, Ellie Turner is good enough for 4th. And on that front page, you do not see Emma Lawson, and that means that Ellie Turner may have just put herself on the podium.
What a competition we've seen for the last 4 days with all of these women.
And credit Laura Horvath. She could have fallen apart after that last event, but understood the bigger picture and that she still had the lead, came out here and was able to take a 3rd place and put herself on top of the podium.
Yeah, and I think there's a unique ability there for her to understand where she struggles, and of course being able to lean into her strengths, both in training and preparation, even mindset-wise. Hey, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. I've got to take points where they're available to me. I was really impressed with her last event, in Event 9, the way she managed those ring muscle-ups and rebound from the tough handstand push-up workout this morning.
Let's go down to the field. Kiki Dixon is with Laura Horvath.
Laura, congratulations on winning the Rogue Invitational. What does it mean to you?
Thank you so much. It's awesome. Being here is very good, and this competition is amazing, so I'm very happy to be here.
Now, on this final event, that last bar was the money bar. Did it serve as any motivation?
Oh, definitely. That bar looks really nice.
Congratulations. What are you doing after this?
Take a break for sure. Go home and relax.
We're so happy you joined us, and congratulations on becoming the Rogue Invitational champion.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. You are amazing.
Laura Horvath with those 4 straight event wins from event 3 to event 6. That is why she is standing on top of the podium. There's Annie Thorisdottir with her daughter Freya. Great to see Annie back in individual competition. And looking like for the 2nd straight year here at the Rogue Invitational, she will finish in 2nd place.
Yeah, it's really great to see Annie and have her back on the individual side. And she openly admitted, hey, I don't know what my intentions are for 2023, so hold tight with that. But I'm really enjoying being back here in the crowd, in this atmosphere, and doing it with all the rest of the best females in our sport.
There's Cara Saunders, who wins the event, but it is Laura Horvath who wins her first ever Rogue Invitational. Emma Lawson and Jack Farlow. That is the future of the sport right there between those two, and we will be seeing a lot more from Emma Lawson. Gabriella Magawa had a solid competition as well. She came into the event in 5th place overall. We will wait to get you the final standings. That's coming up on the Rogue Iron Game. Stick around, everybody. Pat Sherwood and Jamie Hagia will be with you to wrap up the final day of competition here at the 2022 Rogue Invitational.